face Yoda origami.
Aww.
I need to put a happy face on this one. So for Christmas, I made the kids get each other something for a present, right? Because they need to start doing that. And so Georgia, I went shopping with her. We found this. So it's a Boba Fett, a room alert. So Willis can turn it on, and if someone comes in his room, it has a little detector, and it'll start shooting at him. Right? I want one. I'm like, I want one for my room.
I need that in the front door. Sorry, I'm making lots of noise. I'm sorry. Oh, Marty McPadden. Hi, Marty McPadden. I'm going to do my Star Wars TIE Fighter that I got in my stocking.
I love it.
Let's do a quick rundown though. Some exciting news and some not so exciting news. Snape passed on last night. Did you know that? Did you see?
I did, and I wanted to make sure we talked about that today because I actually felt a pause of despondency because I still feel it. My husband, so he's kind of like whatever, social media, you're getting on these alerts, whatever. So I told him, I said, honey, Alan Rickman passed away. And he's like, so, had the moment. He leaves and he comes back in. He actually came back in the house to say, it just occurred. I mean, he's in both of our favorite Christmas movies. I can't believe he died. I'm like, I know, dude. And so that was a huge deal that Alan Rickman passed away. And actually, for a little bit, contemplated if we should just change the whole topic of today to remembering Alan Rickman, and we'd all say quotes from his movies in British accents. So
that would be so funny.
We could do, now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
But in brighter news, because I'm really sad about that too, and I want to move on. In brighter news, our friend Courtney caught the Oscar nomination.
That's so cool! Good job, Courtney. We need to have her on.
We need to have her and Jerry. We need to have her and Jerry Frank back on, because that's the A team, and that's really them and their entire team. Here's the link to our YouTube version of our blab.
Yes.
If you need to watch what we talked about, we went into all sorts of things. Women being a female filmmaker in Hollywood. We really went into all sorts of things. So
and just to recap too, her video, her movie is about, she follows the life of it's over several years. She follows the life of a young man. What country was it in again? Can you remind me?
So Chow lives in Vietnam.
That's right.
And he is a victim of the Agent Orange we left behind.
Right.
And she followed him for 8 years, on and off for 8 years, and then it ended up as a 34-minute doc short. And she was shortlisted for the Oscar when we talked to her last. And we got, because the Oscar nominations came out at like 3 a.m. like they always do or whatever. And so my phone lit up from all my film buddies telling me to check the Oscar list. And then Jack Hanley, our fearless leader at Crested Butte Film Fest, texted me to ask me if I had a better way to get a hold of Courtney because she got nominated and he needed to call her and congratulate her. Of course, Courtney is continually, like every filmmaker, very quiet and very private. So nobody really has a great way to get a hold of her except probably her mom. So, yeah. So we hemmed and hawed over the fact that we couldn't get a hold of Courtney. However, she's nominated for an Oscar for Chow Beyond the Lines.
Nice.
Is Finn Jedi. Where does Rey come
from? A couple questions. Here's one I'm going to talk about. Let's see. What's that other one I kind of want to talk about?
I do know that I'm putting the logo thing together incorrectly.
All right. Wait. Just want to introduce Boba.
Hi, Boba.
He's no good to me, dead.
He's no good to you, dead.
As you wish.
As you wish. Oh, where? Need to find my gun. Get him.
He's worth a lot to me.
He's worth a lot to Boba. Right? Boba. I want this. I might steal this from my own room. This is my son, so I'm just gonna have this.
So funny.
All right.
David Bowie passed. Wait, let's get through the ugly news this week. David Bowie passed. He
Yes.
Okay, so seriously, first guy that made me realize there were guys.
Oh, David, I will say, and I'm not. I appreciate his music. That wasn't my big thing of him. I remember that he was the Goblin King in Labyrinth. That's my big shout out. I just loved him for that. I loved that role. It was fantastic.
He was also Nikola Tesla in The Prestige.
Yes.
And he was Basquiat in Basquiat. And himself in so many things. Like he cameoed everywhere. So
so cool.
And I'm totally and so lost and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had someone on Facebook today say, I hope that David and Alan are having a great old time together somewhere. Am I making weird noises?
You are making weird noises.
Can I refresh without freaking out? Because you're a host, so you should be good.
It shouldn't freak out, but if it does, okay, it freaks out.
Did it do okay now? I think I'm okay.
No, you're fine.
Okay. All right. Any more news to recap this week? Sad or happy?
I do want to post this real quick because Courtney posted a picture of Chow getting the notification that he was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, do that! That's so cool. Oh, God, what an amazing! So cool.
Yeah, he's so excited. So excited. It's awesome to watch. They videoed him over there in let's see here.
Saying come see Boba Fett on our blab.
So this, if you scroll, this is Chow's Facebook page. You should hop over there real quick. If you scroll down to the second thing, it's the video of Chow getting excited about being nominated for an Oscar. It's awesome. He's going off. He's dancing around the street. It's so cool.
I'm so cool. That's neat. Happy Yoda. Yoda is happy.
Yay!
Yay, Yoda happy.
Do you have any other bad news since we talked last? I can't remember.
I hope not. I don't think so. But we'll cover it.
I'm going to be looking down a lot today because I'm screwing up Legos, and I don't know how I'm screwing up the Legos.
Tell us what you're doing with your Legos. What are you doing?
I am making, so in my stocking this year, my roommates got me so much Star Wars stuff, and I am making I am making the TIE Fighter Advance, the new TIE Fighters. It's the advanced prototype for the new TIE Fighter.
That's the dark side, so Yoda's upset with you.
Isn't it okay? And I have the green. What they're confused clearly about.
Wait,
which lightsaber? Is this better?
Yes, that's great. And like, this is my son who made an X-wing fighter out of paper.
I love it. That's awesome.
It's really hard for me as a parent, and I don't mind a lot of clutter, but there's all this paper stuff everywhere, and it's like, okay, I know it's purposeful, and he's so creative with it too. I love it.
Kids cracking up. They're awesome.
No, they are pretty awesome. I do a good job. Okay, so I want to hash out. I know we had a good intro, and that's good, and we're going to obviously segue into more of that stuff later. So congrats to all of our to Courtney for the Oscar nod. RIP to. Okay, but I need more than that, Mike. What do you mean? Question, Jakku. What does that mean? That's an exclamation.
Are you just explaining Jakku? It's not a question. Can you see that's not a question?
Real or is I know. What are we talking about? So can you expound on that a bit? Does not mean I'm just deleting your question because I would need a little better question. Happy Yoda is.
An actual question.
Your question, whatever it is.
That's also not a question.
Still not sure what you're talking about, but we'll get there. So,
ask the full question.
Okay, let's just put it. So Jakku. Yes, it's a planet. Sand, and it looks a lot like Tatooine. A lot of people. And I'm just going to say it again. It's obviously in the title. There are spoilers in this blab. We're going to talk about the movie and all the things in it. I'm not avoiding any topics, okay?
Well, if you haven't seen it and you don't want the spoilers, For God's sake, don't leave us because we want you here. So just get spoiled.
He's no good to me dead.
That's right. Boba is going to shoot you out of the screen as you wish. That's command right there. So Jakku is the planet that Rey was left upon. That is what we all understand. Rey is counting down little hash marks of days of her life that she's lived on Jakku. It is a sandy planet. Looks a hell of a lot like Tatooine. You don't see a whole lot of it other than where she lives and tries to scavenge in the ships, the old down ships, and then you also see that whole central place.
Right.
Okay, good. I think this is a good topic. So let's talk. I want to talk about this. This is a good question. So I'm going to put this up here. So Jakku, we just covered Jakku. Yay. Oh, God, where are you? I'm going to get that out of there. Okay. What are the chances that Jakku is both a girl with the Force abilities and the Falcon? So here, I'm going to put out a theory. You guys can tell me if you agree with it. So in Rey's dream sequence, which I actually have seen the movie 3 times. Yes, I'm that person. So I've seen the movie 3 times, and in the dream sequence, you see where she's a little girl on Jakku, and a big old meaty strong arm is kind of holding her, like, come on, girl. And she's yelling, and you see that ship taking off away, okay? My theory is, and I believe this has been corroborated in other message boards, many, many, many message boards, is that meaty arm dude is the same guy who is selling or who buys her stuff and gives her the portions each day. And so, you know, he seems all mean. He's like, this is worth 1/2 portion. Great. Glad you agree. So, but he also owns the Millennium Falcon, and that is referred to later because she's around. They go, hey, let's pick garbage will work. So they go get on the Falcon and take off, and he yells, that's mine. So here's my theory. I think that Han Solo was involved with leaving her on that planet, whether he did it himself or he was part of the whole thing that did it. He was somehow involved in that decision. I know that's not the Falcon or anything we see taken away, but I think that's true because I have a feeling that somehow, please, if someone knows Meaty Arm Dude's name, tell me. I know he's got a name. I think that he saw or knew of the Falcon through that association and had his sights set on it from that point to get the Falcon for himself, Meaty Arm Dude who held Rey back. But part of my theory, this is pretty outlandish, is that I was wondering if he's somehow there to keep an eye on her, even if it's not very nice, but he's still kind of keeping an eye out for her and maybe setting the Falcon aside for such a time when she might need it. I don't think he knew for sure she was the one flying it away when he's like, that's mine, you know, and flying it away because he didn't see her get on it. He just saw it fly away. The other thing, the reason I think that's true is because later when they run into Han Solo and he's like, did you steal the Falcon from me? And he's like, you know, he's like, I was looking for Duquesne who stole it or something. She's like, no, I got it from this guy who stole it from this guy who stole it from Duquesne. So there's a line there that's saying somehow the Falcon got from Han through, you know, proxy ownership and stealing and stuff to the guy that was watching Rey. And so, again, it's extremely out there. I just wonder. Okay, I don't know if I agree with that one.
I don't think that's sexual tension. No.
I mean, I know I know, Tara, you talked about Luke's acting in that last scene. She's like, let me do my chin.
Okay, Heath Ledger did a better Joker than he's doing. No, not at all buying at any point that that's sexual tension. And in fact, I think she's related. So I don't think I think that makes that suspicion even more gross.
All right. Talk to me about that. You think she's related? Pontificate.
So obviously she's not probably Luke's daughter because he's a celibate Jedi.
Correct.
Or at least we think he is.
We think he is. He didn't seem to be about that, or like, oh, I must go, you know, shag with a hot girl. He never was all about that.
I think, I don't know what I think. I think she's related. Clearly she's not. So this is going to happen. So So she's the product of, so she's Leia's daughter and the product of something else that happened after Kylo Ren.
So you don't think they're twins? Because I've heard that floating around.
No, I don't think they're twins because they would be, because Han, right, Han would have made a more of a recognition effort to find both of his children. He wouldn't not know that he's missing a daughter.
Okay.
I mean, give me a break. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm reasonably certain that they're not twins.
No, I'm laughing at Jen. Her comment. That was a dick move.
No, seriously, I agree, Jen. Holy cow. What is that? Like, he knew she was coming?
I like Mike's question. We're going to get that.
So one of my friends put up the other day, he says, I'm confused why Vinnie Barbarino is searching for Billy Joel on a lost island.
Wow. So you think that, and you and I differ on this one, you think Rey is related to Han and Leia? Like
no, I think she's related. Well, I think she's related to Leia and Luke. I don't think she's necessarily related to Han.
Okay.
In some capacity. We don't have all the pieces yet. But it just because of the way the storyline runs, I don't think she's just a random grab from somewhere. I don't think they randomly are handing her Luke's lightsaber. I don't think that's a random grab from somewhere.
Okay. So I differ. I differ. I can use language. I know English.
Fastest on the wrong syllable.
Like, I'm the epitome of hyperbole, okay? So
I'm the epitome of hyperbole.
That's from Brian Regan. Look him up if none of you know Brian Regan. Best freaking
funny.
ever. And he's freaking clean, which is awesome for parents. Woohoo!
Jen, I agree with you on that. I absolutely agree with you on that. She and Kylo Ren very clearly were the last Jedi that Luke was training. Here's the thing. As we saw with Kylo Ren, he's related. And the same sort of thing, Darth came from the same sort of thing. So it's the gene pool. And there's a light side and the dark side to each of it. So
okay. I have a different theory.
Okay.
Obviously, Kylo Ren, aka Ben, is Han and Leia's son. I don't think Rey is related to any of that. And here's why. Disney intentionally said that they were not going to keep to the canon of Star Wars, which does make or aristocracy out of the Skywalker family, kind of a forced aristocracy, if you will. So I think that, but also I think she is another, and this again is totally speculation on my part. I think she is a midichlorian manifestation again. I feel like, and here's why, because I see the Force is its own character, and I don't feel like it's ever bound by saying, well, I can only really function in the Skywalker lineage. It doesn't. Obviously, you've got Yoda was not a Skywalker. Mace Windu, not a Skywalker. Palpatine, probably not a Skywalker, although there are theories that he was the one who tried to make Anakin happen through a midichlorian focus. I think Rey is a midichlorian manifestation, and she was generated that way. I don't know if that means someone in the storyline we've seen already is one of her parents. I don't know that. But also, if you recall, and I was watching for this too, and I saw it repeated times, when she is taken by Kylo Ren onto the ship. For one thing, I don't think she's Han's daughter, because Han doesn't give a shit about her at that point, because he's like, oh my God, my son. So I don't think he's related to her.
Because he would be hyper aware that he was missing a girl.
Oh my God, yeah. So, but then I don't think she's related to Leia, because when Finn is freaking out, oh my God, and he's his one focus. Well, as soon as Han sees Kylo Ren get on that ship, his sole focus the rest of that movie is his son, getting him back, realizing it might take all he has, which it does. But converse to that, Finn, his sole focus the rest of the movie is getting Rey back because he's got the hots for her and stuff and whatever. But they're friends. But he goes and he enlists Poe to help him, but they go talk to Leia. Leia, you know, he's like, dude, my friend, I just need your help. I need to get her back. She's like, great. I need you to tell us how to blow that thing up. So she, you know, your friend, so sorry about that, but you need to tell us how to blow this thing up. If we can get her, that's great. So to me, that's not saying, oh, my daughter is over there. And I get that Leia is a hard-ass general. I get it. But she's also her son is a big priority for her during this whole thing, too. And she's talking about to Han, go get our son. I miss him, too. I'm very distraught. Okay, all that stuff. So I don't think Rey comes from either of them. I don't think Rey is related to Luke. I don't think Rey is Obi-Wan's daughter, which has been floating around, too. And I think the hug, a lot of people... Right. And he was, because you talk about being a Jedi who was very, you know, straight-laced, on the line, no, I'm not going to go F around. He was not. He was that Jedi saying, no, I'm a Jedi. I don't do that. Again, not saying he didn't, but that seems like in line with his character. But that hug that Leia and Rey share at the end, not a motherly hug. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I think they both realize, Han, we just both lost Han. Leia lost Han, and Rey was the last one to see Han alive in that pairing. But Rey also thinks she has lost Finn at that point, because Finn's out. We don't know at that point if he's going to walk or even live. So they're sharing that moment too. I think that's the hug. That's not oh, my daughter, come back. So that's my theory, is that Rey is strictly midichlorian generated.
Okay.
Take it or leave it. They know Finn is alive. Well, they know Finn's alive. He's got, you hear the little boop, 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 little heart rate at the end. But you don't know if he's going to walk or whatever. But why? Why do they know Finn's alive?
So it's not a motherly hug, but it doesn't mean she's not related.
Did she have to friend-zone him while he was in a coma? Hey! Like, because she says, I'll see you again, my friend.
We've seen that movie too.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I mean, I think Finn hopes for more from her. Maybe she's a confused girl. She's got a lot going on. She just realized she knows the Force and can make Daniel Craig as a stormtrooper do things. I mean, that would be a big deal. Welcome, Drat. Let's see, where was that other question? And I hate this because it doesn't let me scroll down on the questions on the left. I'm gonna
X out of him. You got to X out of him to get to him.
Okay, let's talk about Kylo Ren. Let's talk about that emo dude.
Here's the thing: if Kylo Ren dies, we don't have the opposition, and so we really can't have him die at this point.
I don't think he died. Well, and I think it's inferred when the ginger redhead general comes in. Dude, the planet's blowing up. We need to leave. And he's like, good, go bring Kylo Ren with you to meet me, and I will finish his training. It's inferred that he survived. I know, emo Kylo Ren. Did you see there's also Lonely Luke on Twitter, and that they actually will interact with each other? So go follow.
Hilarious. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
So hilarious. So Kylo Ren doesn't die. What are your thoughts on him? What did you think about that whole thing? Drat, we're actually going to ask that you interact a little bit in the sidebar first before we just let people in. Just to roll a thumb. Because you never know. I actually had a blab the other day.
The last time I randomly let somebody in was during our Courtney Marsh interview, and the dude literally sat there and poo-pooed me and patted me on the head and was condescending and ate soup on air while he was trying to deprecate himself for Courtney. And I just was sitting there like, I don't get what you're doing right now, man. So no, we don't just randomly let people on.
It's just good rule of thumb if we make sure you're engaged with the topic and stuff and aren't just in here to show us what you look like with your shirt off. I'm not saying you were. I'm just saying you got to watch it. Thank you. We think it's a good rule too, Jen. Thank you.
I don't need somebody eating soup either while I'm trying to talk to them.
No, I've been tempted to eat while I'm on a blab, but I have yet to do it. I don't think I'm going to do it. I just don't think that's good practice. Nobody wants to watch me eat. Bleh. So I've heard, now I don't know, I haven't watched any other shows where the dude who plays Kylo Ren has been on, but apparently there are people who have really had just like some they were predisposed to not like that character. I thought he was fine. I didn't think he looked too gorgeous or anything, and some people think he does, whatever. I thought he looked, no, if he were Han Solo's son and he had facial stuff there, I could see that going on. And I thought he did all right with that role, particularly playing the out of control, emotional, I'm being torn apart, which he self-declares, right?
Right, yeah.
I have this, I want to talk about this a little bit. So Kylo Ren, when he is having that moment where he's talking to Darth Vader's mask, right? And he says something to the effect of, show me again, or remind me, it's just like, show me again the path or something like that. So I'm curious about that because that implies that somehow he has seen or feels like he has been shown before by Darth Vader, by his spirit or what have you, that he's supposed to follow the dark path. So I don't know what that means. I know that obviously Luke knows how to commune with past Jedi because he can see Yoda and Obi-Wan, and at the end of Return of the Jedi, he can see Anakin. He can see them, but I'm assuming, someone pointed out to me once, that's a good point, that Kylo Ren is not trained to that effect where he'd be able to commune with past Jedi, unless Snoke somehow showed him something that he thinks is Darth Vader.
Well, so here's the thing, and this kind of Lucas has very much stuck with the matter can't be created or destroyed, and that applies to energy also. And so their energy, the force is still just kind of out there. So that doesn't mean that he hasn't communicated with them. I think maybe it's not refined. I think it's like, the flash where Rey saw all the flashbacks where Rey was seeing all the stuff when she got into the room. And opened the test. I kind of feel it was like that, and neither of them are refined enough to know how to handle what's coming at him yet.
That makes sense. Well, he's so. I really, someone else pointed out too in a thread I was on my time where they said it was really interesting to see the other side of this, where all through the original trilogy, episodes 4 through 6. You're watching Luke struggle to stay on the path of light. He's being tempted by dark. Instead, in this, Kylo Ren is trying to follow the dark side. Oh, nice. That was really well done. Look at you. Wait, Yoda.
Yay.
Happy Yoda. Happy origami Yoda. Yay. Well done. High five. That's cool looking.
Thanks. My roommates are cool.
Gonna give you props. Remember, what did I just totally lost my train of thought because your little ship was so cool.
I know, it's so rude. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's just timely. It's like, look, this is happening right now. Help me out, guys. What was I talking about?
We're talking. I don't remember.
Kylo Ren. How in this movie, instead of trying to be on the light path and be tempted by dark, Kylo Ren is on the dark path, but he's being tempted by light. By the way, let's talk. Did you just? I have the theory that Kylo Ren meant to kill Han the moment he saw him on that bridge. I don't think he wavered. I think the whole time he's like, I know what I need to do, but I'm not sure I can do it. He knew he was going to kill him. I don't think he was struggling with that. I mean, I think he was struggling with the fact, I need to kill you, but he knew what he needed to do. It wasn't like, I know I need to try to be light. I don't think that.
I think it's a hard thing no matter what, that you have to kill your dad. So I think he had to kind of take a deep breath and step into the fact that he knew he had to kill his dad to continue on with this thing. So I think maybe he did waver a smidge, but I know that I kind of feel like, I don't know because I haven't talked to the character, but I sort of feel like you're right. He knew he was going to kill him. He just had to take it. It doesn't matter how much you hate your dad. There's going to be some amount of, I have to kill my dad. Okay. So.
No good to me dead.
He's no good to me, dead. As you wish. Shoot.
I love it. I need one.
I know, I love it. I think they had more than Boba too. I think they had a Jedi one. That was at Target, by the way. That's where we got this, by the way. So it's a little room alert that'll tell people, shoot them when they come in your room. Everyone should have one. Get them at Target. No, I agree. I think. I know, Jen.
I'll see you later.
Bye. Let's just all meet at Target and let's blab at Target while we're on there. We could, although sometimes their Wi-Fi sucks. Yeah, okay, wait. First of all, I'm going to type another question here in a second. This came up. I questioned it earlier, and Jen answered it. Why did R2-D2 come back to life when Luke wasn't yet back? And I have a theory about that. Jen says it's because Luke sent him a message to come alive at that moment. But Tara, what do you think?
Because we see at the end, it kind of because he texted him. Yes, he did.
Yes.
It's Rey. Rey was holding on to Luke's saber, and Luke's saber is, as we've seen, central to his having the Force. That's like the power that with which he displays his Force.
Bakey, eggs and bakey.
Eggs and bakey.
Wake up, you must.
So I think that it's because she's got a saber, because it's been handed to her. And this is another reason why I think she's related. They don't just hand the sabers from one person to the next like that. It's not just like oh, you have the Force, here, have Luke's saber. It's the saber will guide you to Luke, I think, is really what's going on there. And R2 comes back alive because we should actually just send him right now.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. And no normal people other than geeks who love that stuff would laugh at that. Love babe.
Okay, so what do you think?
JavaScript. All right. I think I like that theory, and that makes sense to me because other people were saying, well, it's because the lightsaber was back. Finn had the lightsaber until he gave it to Rey until Rey took it rather, on the Star Killer, and then came back with it. So that makes sense to me that once she returned with that lightsaber, R2's like, oh, okay. My other theory though was that if it wasn't tied to Luke's lightsaber, that when Leia, when Kylo Ren, and again spoilers everywhere, when Kylo Ren kills Han, he has just made his switch to the dark side. He just made that push. That was his flip. And you see Leia kind of sink in her chair backward at the base. Same thing happened to Yoda when Anakin goes and kills the Sand People when his mother dies. Same thing happens to Obi-Wan in The New Hope when Alderaan is destroyed and he feels that huge loss. So she has the same kind of reaction. I think it's not necessarily that, oh, Han died. She probably knows it, but more to the point, she feels the force shift of Kylo Ren accepting, embracing the dark side. To me, I felt like that force shift also could be the transition to R2 saying, all right, things are happening, and now this is ushering in a whole new segment of events, which, carry on to Rey and going and contacting Luke. Now is the time. So that was part of my theory, but they could be tied. You could be right and I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. It's okay, Gabe. I'm okay with being wrong. I don't think you know who I was right about, which again, shout out to Alan Rickman, RIP today. I was right about Snape. Mm-hmm. I was so right about him before Deathly Hallows came out. It was like, oh, Snape's a total traitor. I'm like, he is not. He is not a traitor. He is not. And I was totally right. I look like Rey. I'm her mother. Yes.
You kind of do. Yes. So I know this is rude and this is one of our pet peeves, but our favorite director, Courtney and Marsh, is texting me right now about we're deciding if she's going to come back on the show before the Oscars. So
she should come on next week. Do we have anyone lined up? If we don't have anyone lined up, she could come on next week.
I have not done my job for that.
have Happy Yoda, not sad Yoda. There's sad Yoda, but there's happy Yoda. Okay. Let me post this one. So we kind of answered the R2 one. Snoke. I want to talk about Snoke. I have heard the theory that Snoke is the Sith Lord that Palpatine is referring to in Revenge of the Sith. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it. Episode 3. That Palpatine's referring to, saying there was a Sith Lord who knew how to bring people back from the dead, and he insinuated that he killed that person. I heard people speculate that Snoke is that Sith Lord. So, which would tie in to say, well, how could he then, is that how he maybe brought Vader's spirit back to, manipulate Kylo Ren? I don't know that, though, so.
Okay, so here's what the Star Wars wiki says.
Let's go to the source.
Right? The Supreme Leader of the First Order, the mysterious Snoke, has no permanent base of operations, preferring to contact his underlings from a mobile command post. Snoke is powerful with the dark side of the Force and seduced Kylo Ren into abandoning the Jedi path to become his apprentice. But Snoke also commands General Hux and the technological war machine of the First Order that the First Order has engineered to destroy the New Republic and Leia Organa's resistance. So there's literally no information there. That's stupid.
Oh, what's that? I think that I want to start referring to Donald Trump as Snoke, because Snoke has this. Just think about this, guys. Snoke has a hologram of himself, but to adequately house the hologram, we must have a Sistine Chapel size room for me not to actually be there. So, egos, party of one. Snoke is basically Donald Trump. But I think that I don't know who he is. Is it that George? Oh, that's a bold statement. Jar Jar Binks. That's wait.
No good to me.
Kill him. Get him. Shoot him.
I feel like I'm missing guns on my.
What if he doesn't survive?
Oh!
It's worth a lot to me.
I'm going to put this question up. That's a good one, Gabe. All right,
Oh.
Good question, that is. Yes, I'm going to do Yoda impersonation. You just need to deal with it. Talk about that. The old man. Now, he knows Princess Leia as Princess Leia because he says, to me, should always be royalty. Who is that dude? They don't ever say his name, right? And he knows Kylo Ren, right?
Yes.
He knows him because he's right. Who is that dude? We need to figure this out. I don't know that we're going to unless they allude to it in the future episodes, but because he knows Princess Leia, he knows Kylo Ren because he keeps saying you and your family. He knows where Kylo Ren is from, so there's some history there. I have no clue who that guy is. I wish I did, but I have heard people again talk about, they did so many throwbacks in this movie to make it seem like New Hope-ishness. So all of us nostalgic people will be like, oh, it's like New Hope all over again. Again, back to Jakku and Tatooine being almost totally the same. But you do have this old guy, robishness going on.
So we got rid of the Death Star and now we have the Death Planet, so whatever.
Killer. Yeah. It's way bigger, though. It's huge.
Way bigger. That's like a Death Moon, not a Death Star. If we've got the Death Planet, then it's like the Death Moon. It's not even, it completely shrinks now.
Yeah. Well, many people have that problem. Anyway, but I don't know. I don't know who he's supposed to be. It does seem a little more like a tie-in, okay, like on where Luke was on Tatooine and had Obi-Wan, an old Jedi, kind of off on the side, sort of keep an eye on him, maybe being part of why he's there. Is that why old dude at the beginning is there, has a map to Luke, is also apparently not geographically very far from Rey, and brings the whole thing. It does seem like a little too much for coincidence that he'd be there, don't you think? I know. They don't give us enough information. It's like, I need more.
And it's such a short-lived character that there's, I mean, there's really, I feel like I need to see the director's cut. I think there's too much cut out of the movie.
Right.
In a lot of places. In a lot of places. There's way too many things that aren't, and I get that they'll be answered probably in the coming movies, I'm hoping. But I mean, we don't even know who are, like Finn. Okay, Finn. He's literally the only stormtrooper to have a conscience ever?
So, do you remember the part where, and no, I don't think he's a Jedi. Nope. I've heard people say, well, can't only Jedi turn on a lightsaber? Han Solo turned on a lightsaber to slice open a tom-tom. No.
And in fact, he's the only other person to ever turn on a lightsaber besides Finn, who doesn't have anything to do with Jedi or Sith. So
Exactly. So the part where the Ginger General, I'm sorry, I know he's got a name. Sorry. I say that lovingly. I think they're awesome. But he says, my men are well trained from birth, blah, blah, blah. But then when they're talking, Phasma is it Phasma? She comes over and is talking about, well, he's gone, but he came to me for reconditioning. And in the foreground, they're showing like a little thing, and you see a young face of Finn. It's not a baby. I don't know if that's trying to insinuate that maybe we didn't get him as a baby. Maybe that was when we brought him in and he was not fully a baby. Or not, he's beyond being a baby. I don't know. That's a lot of read in for me. But one thing I've heard people say is that they don't like how larger than life Finn was. I actually thought that was confirmation that you're talking about a guy who's been brainwashed his whole life and has been stifled, and you make sure you keep your helmet on. Fuck, I would be like all over the place, but like, woo, let's go get some ice cream. I can express myself. Ray, you're hot. I mean, I think that was appropriate that he was a little bit like, Phasma, I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. Dial it down, dude. Dial it down. You're a big deal.
The first stormtrooper in the history of stormtroopers to ever actually have accurate shooting capabilities. So
I know, right? I still can't hit anything. I loved. Can I just? And it bothered the crap out of me every time. I don't know why I'm trying to censor myself. I just let it go. But I know it bothered the shit out of me that this happened. Yeah. At the beginning, so they're destroying that village. Poe's escaping. All the stormtroopers, and Poe shoots a stormtrooper, and Finn comes over, and of course the stormtrooper puts a bloody hand down his face, so you can tell who that stormtrooper was in the future scenes. Like, let's make sure we set him apart. That's the one that's having a problem. And I was like, okay, could have been a little less obvious about that. So some of those conventions, I'm like, all right, that was a dummy giveaway. So we had to make sure everybody knew that was the conflicted stormtrooper. Thank you. How is he bleeding? We never see stormtroopers bleed. I just don't think that was realistic necessarily. I was like, where is he bleeding? I don't see that.
Okay, let's discuss that real quick. John Green, Paper Towns fame and everything else. He actually, this is so funny. He posted on YouTube yesterday on Vlogbrothers that there's an egregious lack of bleeding from Star Wars. Yeah. And no missing limbs.
Yeah, it was very family friendly, I gotta say. Oh, let me do one more. Hold on a second. What was let me have another question. Hold on.
Excuse me, so
sorry. Pardon me while I just hop in to watch a whole nother video. So he talks about the egregious lack of severed hands on Star Wars, which is true. There was, nobody got hurt.
Nobody did. It was like a Die Hard movie. Jeez.
My favorite scene. Do you want to know my favorite scene? Oh my God, you should have heard. So we couldn't decide if we were going to the 3D or the IMAX or the IMAX 3D or. And our waitress at the brewery ahead of time sucked ass, and we got there way late. And so literally there was the front row left, and we had just bought the $10 seats to see it for the first time. And as it turns out, when you sit in the front row of the theater these days, you do not need IMAX or 3D.
Right. That's right. You're like right there.
In it, because the screens are all curved anyway. And so you're just kind of, it's like being in the IMAX. So the best scene ever was the Millennium Falcon. When they brought it back out, we were the
awesome.
the entire row of us were like, woohoo!
I love that.
And all the new technology, all the new fighters and X-Wings and
that, yeah, my favorite scene, which I didn't expect it, but it just was, and I get chills. I got chills all 3 times I saw the movie when so the stormtroopers have taken Maz's territory over, and they're everybody's gonna do this. All of a sudden they're like, we have incoming, and you see the X-Wings of the rebellion coming up across, of the resistance coming across the water, and then that one long scene where Poe is just flying like shit all over the place, and Finn's like, yeah! And I was like, God, that was awesome. I love that. That was such a cool scene. I love the action of it. It was a beautifully shot scene. And then Finn again being larger than life, and then that was Poe and their buddies. I just loved that scene.
Yep.
Loved
my roommate's, I say my roommate's husband because otherwise it sounds funny if I say my roommate Dave, but truthfully, Dave and Genesee are actually both my roommates.
Cohabitants, will.
So Genesee's sitting in between Dave and I are super duper Star Wars geeks. And you should have heard as soon as we were cheering and screaming and clapping and yeah, see? Yeah.
That was so cool. Well, and go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, too. That's exactly. Genesee's like, what is, like, she knows she's seen the movies, but she's not nearly as Star Wars geeky as we are. And so we're like, woo!
Well, I love that because you didn't really get a whole lot of that. I mean, you had moments. I'm not going to let it be, because that movie sucked so bad. The Attack of the Clones, the whole romance line just made that movie suck.
Right.
But when Yoda, they're all in that big middle arena, and Dooku's up there, and they're about ready to just slaughter all the remaining Jedi, and Yoda comes sweeping in with the clone army. No, I mean, that wasn't even close to the level of really cool setup for Force Awakens when the Resistance comes in. I feel like none of the other movies ever had that moment where you have the Resistance or the Rebellion coming in and kicking ass. And they got it in that movie, and that was, I feel like I'd been waiting for, like, I just need something that was akin to Darth Vader tossing Palpatine the Emperor off of that balcony, and killing him finally. Dude, we're not gonna...
Sid, we don't just randomly let people on our show. You need to tell us why you want on, and then we'll decide if you're gonna come on camera or not.
That's right.
So,
we interact with the bar.
We can communicate with you in the bar, but we gotta put a handle on who's on our show.
That's right.
So you're not just gonna randomly be allowed on. Sorry.
Best practice, yeah. Just interact on the sidebar. Meet us at the bar first. We know we don't want to lock the seats necessarily, because some of you are interacting with us on the sidebar, and if you want to come on.
We would like to have you or Jen or somebody that is actually interacting and feels like coming on, so we're not going to lock the seats. But we appreciate that.
Thank you. So yeah, like I said, we're getting toward the end-ish of the hour, but if anybody who's been interacting on the sidebar would like to ask to come in and call in and see, we could totally do that, because that makes it more fun too. You guys have been interacting great, by the way. We love this movie. Did you guys love the movie? Did you love it? Blab stud. We had a guy who entered the blab and just wanted to come on. So
he said that twice already. He just wanted to
really
randomly come on.
He really calling in.
Nothing beats the guy we actually had to kick, who wanted to tell us how beautiful you were and that we should buy his makeup.
I know. I'm like, wow, I totally fell for that. I'm mesmerized by you telling me I'm pretty.
You're really pretty. Do you want to buy my makeup?
Get out, you are not. These are my son's origami, by the way. I wanted to have a happy and a sad for when, it's better reacting. The dialogue was a bit cheeky at times. although I loaned out, so we've got all the Star Wars episodes on DVD/Blu-ray as appropriate. We didn't really want to invest in Blu-rays for episodes 1 through 3. Who would? But I loaned a couple movies out to someone who was watching the whole marathon with their kids before seeing Force Awakens, and just so many people are like, man, I forgot how kind of hokey these old ones were. And they're classic, they're hokey, but, the whole shaking, we're on a tractor beam, and stuff like that. I still think the dialogue was better than, probably New Hope or stuff. Empire Strikes Back, though. I got it. Hold on, got a question. Rank the movies in order of best to worst. Episodes.
I am ill qualified for that because I still have not seen 1, 2, and 3 all the way through. So
don't need to. I really, frankly, that's like if you're drunk or you're high and you want to be home and maybe you're laid up from surgery.
I've seen. Okay, so Confessions of a Comic-Con show host. I have seen enough to get me through the shows I host at Comic-Con. Otherwise, I don't.
Jen, interesting ranking. I think that, so you like New Hope best above all. That's interesting. So that's best.
So here's the thing that I noticed though, as we walked out of, as we neared the end of Force Awakens, we've seen this movie before and we've seen it in New Hope.
Yeah, that's true. They really, I was okay with it the first time I saw it because I was so just like, God, thank you for not Lucasing this movie. Which, by the way, George Lucas, wherever you are, your last name has become a verb. I mean, just take that as a hint. Jesus. I would rank it but the nostalgia, I liked it the first time I saw it because it's like, oh my God, you're bringing me back. I love it. Second and third time, I'm like, yeah, they kind of went a little overboard with it. I get why. They're trying to be, transsectional across the, generations is what I'm trying to say. Transgeneration. Is what I'm trying to say. That's a lot of things for what I was trying to say. Words use. You must use your words.
Words use you must.
I like, so from best to worst. Okay. 5. So Empire Strikes Back, hands down best still. Sorry. I mean, I love that it ended dark and unknown. Like you weren't sure that Han was going to be back. You weren't sure how it was going to turn out. I loved that movie. So I would say in order of best to worst, I'm going to say, and again, I'm looking at quality overall, good setup, editing, dialogue, everything. 5, 7, 4, 6, 3, 1, 2. Because 2, Attack of the Clones, I swear to God, I want to burn that movie so my kids don't want to watch it anymore because frickin' Padme in there, we can't be friends. She's just like, let me wear backless clothes all the time, but I don't want to get it on. It's like, stop it. And then, and I feel bad because Hayden Christensen, I think, was a decent actor. He is just sucktastic in the movies. Ewan McGregor was one of the lone saving graces in those 3. Jar Jar.
Okay, because he's Ewan McFucking-Gregor. He's Ewan McFucking-Gregor, and that's why. Okay.
That's a good point. New Hope was made. I mean, that was the breakout one. It was good. It created got the whole thing going. Man, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, people look at like movie franchises, and that is still, to me, and I think many, is like, that's the goal for a sequel, is to make it, man, it had that staying power and was better than New Hope. It was better than the original, and not many sequels can claim that. No, I haven't seen that yet. I have not.
You need to see that. You need to see that, Rachel.
I think I fell asleep during that one time. And I don't mean like it's a bad thing. I mean, I was tired and I fell asleep. He made props from toothbrushes. What's that, Jen? Yeah, so did you guys hear too? So let's talk about this. There was actual speculation as well that the first lines of dialogue in The Force Awakens are, "This will start to make things right." And people were saying, was that like a knock at George Lucas? Trying to say, this movie will start to make things right? you poor fans, you, because my God, you had to live through all that shit. That was episodes 1 through 3. So yeah.
I think that and 1, 2, and 3 were a grab at trying to keep the franchise alive, and so that didn't work, and he made the right decision to give it to Disney, frankly. So
I'm gonna ask one more question. In EPs 1 through 3, did you have a favorite scene? So again, acknowledging that 1 through 3 exist in the genre. Did you have a favorite scene in it? I do. Do you? Curious. Do you have a favorite episode? Yeah, 1 through 3. You haven't seen them, you said. Sorry.
Not enough. No, okay. Not enough to make a decision.
I think the lightsaber fight between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan was the best scene of the whole 3 movies. My husband, the lightsaber scene in Revenge of the Sith between Obi-Wan and now Darkseid Anakin was the best he's ever seen. But I love all your gifts. Those are so sweet. Yoda saber fight, that was also a good one because everyone was waiting for Yoda to kick ass. That was a moment everybody wanted to see because, I mean, yeah, he lifts Luke's X-Wing out of the swamp.
I love Jar Jar so much.
Misa, stupid. Hey, wait.
Misa hates Jar Jar so much.
Shoot him, man. Shoot him. Boba. Yeah, he is. He's really good to us, Dad. Get him.
As you wish.
Thank you. Shoot him. Boba just shot Jar Jar.
I saw that. I'm excited.
From Target.
I'm excited for that. Is it weird that I'm excited for that?
Oh, that was good. Yeah, Jen, that was good too, where Anakin, at the end of that fight where he just gets decimated by Obi-Wan. We learned all about the high ground, the advantage of high ground in that scene. That'll learn him to jump all over the place like that.
I was trying to do Millennium Falcon origami really quick, and this is as far as I got because it's really hard. So
origami is hard. You are good origami. You are. Sorry, he's facing the wrong way. See, in my screen, Tara is here, and then the sidebar is over there. So I was shooting that way. So Boba, forgive me. I'm sorry, I made you turn the wrong way. It was awful. I'm a terrible Boba.
We're basically backwards from what you guys see at this point. So
yeah. So next time I'll just kind of have him shoot everywhere. I'll do him a cover shot.
Have him do spray and pray over there. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So what are the predictions? Last probably major question, and we can. Oh, this is a good one. How did you feel when Han died? I cried. I'm not ashamed to say.
So here's what happened. So here's the thing. Womp womp. I was very sad too because I like Han a lot. But we're seeing this now. We saw it with not with Spectre. With what was the James Bond movie before Spectre?
Nightfall, fall, something fall.
Skyfall. What we're doing is we're closing out old generations and opening up new generations to new tech, and that's exactly what Episode 7's doing right now. So I get the importance of it, but I was super duper sad when Han left. I just was so sad.
It was really bad. Well, and I think a lot of people had speculated that someone major was going to die. I thought it would either be Han or Leia. Probably not Leia because they need to keep the Force sensitivity, whatever, going. It made sense from the storyline that Han would die because Kylo needed to have that crossover to the dark side. But I cried, and actually, so we saw. I've got 2 kids, a 9-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. My daughter apparently, and I'm not faulting her for this. I raised this girl right. Has a crush on Harrison Ford at 7 years old because we let her watch all the cool movies that he's been in. So she was on my lap when that happened, and she has henceforth declared that she will not see this movie ever again. It is the worst movie ever because of that moment. And anytime we bring it up that Han died, don't talk about it. And the day after, she said, "Mom, can we watch Raiders of the Lost Ark?" And I said, "Yes." I get it. We can. It's fine. And so for her, it's important. God help me when Harrison Ford kicks it. That better not be the third thing this week, damn it. I can't. David Bowie and Alan Rickman are plenty. I don't need these other people.
George, we don't know you, so we're not going to just let you randomly on, but thank you.
Yeah, we require everybody to interact on the sidebar. Meet us at the bar. Is it on that side or this side? Which side? I'm over here. I got it over there. Okay. What else? Yeah. Oh, they're making more Indiana Jones, really? I need those to be done. Those are fine the way they are. I mean, even with the skull one.
About what, George? What do you want to talk with us live about? We don't know you. You've just barely started.
All right, I'm blocking him. Bye. Sorry. Who is Han? Are you in the right Blab? Who is Han? So that's how Blab works, ladies. Well, yeah, if we don't let you in a seat, don't try to repeatedly come in. That's just lame.
Okay, seriously, how many times do we have to say? We're not just going to randomly let people in.
Different people earlier this week did this. Okay.
Stop it. I'm going to block you. Cut it out.
Bye. All right, let's go and lock that seat then. If you guys want to get on, say it in the sidebar.
We don't have a problem with them coming in. What they need to not do is just randomly come onto somebody's blab. That's ridiculous.
I know. Anyway, I think it's a side effect of Blab. It's just instant live, and hey, if you let me on. We are smarter, though. We are wiser now. Tara had to put up with someone eating soup. I mean, God, we learned.
Eating soup, and he was asking, he's like, so Courtney, tell me about your blab. And I'm like, this is my blab. And he's like, anyway, so Courtney. And I'm like, oh, is that happening on my show? This is why we don't just randomly allow people on, because I don't think that, host your own blab if you want to do that. Host your own blab. That's, no, actually, I'm not going to give somebody else a random co-host either.
No. No.
Not at all. I give them way too much control over my back end.
Well, then they can, no one wants control over your back end, Tara. You give that to who you won't. That's right. I'll be here all week. No, it's actually, because you can have guests on. I found it to be a decent practice to require that they interact with the sidebar first. Then you can at least tell that they're sincerely trying to interact with the topic. And then you can open the seat.
I'm not going to use anybody else as a moderator either. It's my show.
It's my show. Are you guys excited about the upcoming movies? Let's talk about that a little bit. Yes. That's pretty much bottom line. Yes. What do we think is going to happen now that Luke has done his very dramatic chin dip to Rey as she hands him the lightsaber? To me, that Luke said all the things of shit. You know, here we are. I can't believe it's time. This is going to be ugly, kind of thing.
It is. Yeah, exactly. If I want to block, I'm going to block. And now we've blocked 4 people total. That's not bad for the 5 months we've been on. 4 months.
It's not. It seems like this last week everybody's been just trying to fly into blabs and just blab and go, blab and drive. It's a drive-by blab.
It's drive-by blabbing.
Drive-by blab.
Dramatic chin dip. So Jen, I told Rachel that I thought that he didn't pull off his Joker acting very well. He was way too serious for that. He just, like, I felt like I needed to carve a smile into his face.
He's distraught, Tara. He's been alone on that island and has a Twitter account that says he's lonely.
Lonely dude.
Yes, lonely dude. Blabby. A blab by. That's perfect. Oh, you coined that phrase.
Nice.
For the blab by. Perfect. That's what I was trying to say. I'm like, it's not a drive by, it's in a blab by. It's perfect. Yes. Just like Lucas is a verb. So whenever you go, so you guys.
Yes, they're blabjacking us. Yes, Jen, they're trying to blabjack us.
Blabjack. I think that's perfect. Well, I think Soup Eater blabjacked you or tried to. A blab by is when they're like, let me get on it and show you all my shit, and then I'm going to leave. No, I don't want to do that. What was I going to say? shit, I lost it. I'm excited about the movies. Oh, Lucas. So anytime you guys have accomplished or finished a project or something, and you're just really tempted to go back in and make it better, even though it's just fine the way it is, you are Lucasing that project. Okay? Lucas. Look it up. It should be in the dictionary, like Jiggy. But yeah, I heard. Ooh, I got so mad at him too because apparently after it came out, it's a smashing success, right? Everybody's loving it. He got on and started whining about it. They're totally like they're just wanting to cater to new fans, and I'm just like, shut up, George. Let it go. Go sing some Elsa. Be free.
Go Elsa. Let it go.
Go silently into that good night. Just go. Go gentle. Yeah, he needs to, I'm sorry, he was hugely important, he was hugely important to the developing that story and getting it out. Then he hooked it up with the whole 1 through 3, and now we have new people taking it on, and they're gaining a new generation. Things change, dude. Drop it. Move along. Let it be. Just let it go. Let people love it. And he can just shut up with that too. Like, he's just giving people what they want. I'm sorry. You changed Han Solo from shooting first at Greedo to doing a defensive shot back at Greedo. Don't even give me that shit. You just changed his whole character because you Lucased your movie. Thank you. Off my stuff. That just really pissed me off when he did that. I'm like, Han would totally shoot Greedo first. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God. Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen.
AOL chat? Do people still AOL?
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I actually have a. Yeah.
How would you feel if Princess Leia?
I don't think.
I'm okay with it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm
You're okay with it?
I am.
I'm not.
I think she should go away.
She
may not want to be in any more movies either. I mean, I don't know how she feels. I think she's in the next one anyway, but.
So Carrie Fisher is awesome, and if you've never read any of her books, you need to read things like Postcards from the Edge and that sort of thing. They're absolutely hilarious. But she had such severe depression, such severe bipolar that she had electroshock therapy. And so prior to this movie, she had electroshock therapy. And in her book, she talks about, apparently I'm some famous princess from some Star Wars line. She doesn't have any idea, right? Which is absolutely awesome. And it kind of gave, I think, a little bit of a new life to Jen, to the Leia character. I'm hoping she makes it through another movie. I'm okay with not past that. I kind of think she's important right now because she's what we've got left.
I agree. Well, plus, in case none of you knew, probably over half the movies in the 90s were written by Carrie Fisher. So
she's amazing. Freaking amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I love that she was brave enough to do it. And even I kind of get on the case of people who did rip on her, be like, oh my God, she has smoker voice. Oh my God, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, she made it back in. She's still Princess Leia. She pulled it off. I mean, how hard would it be? And why aren't those people saying the same shit about Harrison Ford looking old? He looks old. Okay.
Let's discuss how much farther we are into this. I do not look the same as I did in 1977. If I did, I'd be almost fetal.
These people age, dude. And maybe she did take up smoking. God, running the resistance is a hard shit job. Let the chick have a cigarette once in a while. I'm okay with it. Besides, probably they have the medical.
She does smoke and she does drink. She does smoke and she does drink. And that's part of the self-medicating. That's funny, Anib.
That's right.
That's part of the self-medicating that she's done. That she's had to do. She's had a horrendous life, guys. Let's discuss that for real. Let's be real about this for just a second. Her bipolar was so bad that the lithium didn't work and she needed to have electroshock therapy, and she did what it took to stay alive. So let's be real about that for a minute. And discuss how important it is that the only thing she's doing is smoking and drinking to self-medicate. I'd say I'm pretty proud of her for that. So.
Me too. And I mean, she cared enough about her fans and that character and saw the importance of it to say, yeah, I'll come back on. You know, I'll do the work that needs to be taken. Did you see she was on, I loved her too, because she's so real. She was on, I think, Good Morning America Today or show or something where just, she's caustic as hell on, you know, just, it's funny, but you're like, I'll let you go. I'm not going to spar, and just but she's got it, man. That woman is strong.
She is on it. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. And even through the short-term memory erasure, she's still managed to stay alive and stay relevant. So she's not, she's not going the sad way so many of these stars from the 70s went.
Yeah, and considering so many of them haven't had the struggle she has, she's done fantastic.
Right.
So totally agree with that. Well, cool. Have we hashed out this movie? Is there anything else people want to cover about? I'm sure I have an opinion about it, and Tara will too. We're never lacking for opinions. Let me just get Boba out of there.
He's no good to me dead.
Shoot her. Get her. All right, wait. Does he have to point that way? There we go. You gonna point him the right way? Jeez, he's really shooting you. That was a lot of
She
shooting.
is really shooting me. I am excited about. I am actually excited about Deadpool.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. We can go to Jen here in a sec. Put her back up there. It's fine. I am really excited about Deadpool. The mug is not mine. It belongs to my roommate, Dave. His wife bought him all sorts of Avengers stuff for Christmas. I got Star Wars and he got Avengers. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually more excited. I love Deadpool. Deadpool's always been one of my favorite characters. I tend towards those dark guys. I love Harley and Joker also. But I'm actually more excited to see Captain America Civil War this coming year. So
That's gonna be.
it's going to be a hard one to watch, Rach. It's going to be a really hard one to watch.
It's gonna be sad. I think, dude, it looked like Rhodey dies. And I don't know that unless he's just really hurt, it looked like he was not in a good way. Did you see that? Did you catch that in the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit, Tony gonna go burn shit up if that happened. And then I wouldn't want to be Steve because, dude.
Right. Well, it foreshadowed it when he said, hey, he's my friend. And Tony says, we were two once.
Ooh. So was I know. That's going to be intense. I have a feeling I might have some more sad people in my house when we watch that movie, including myself. Yes, excited about Deadpool. Raid toys. She's out in the toys now, and I knew that was a big deal. Why is she not in the toys? I really kind of understand that. They didn't want to, we had to still, there are people who haven't seen this movie, guys. It's weird, I know. But
because
they need
people, if Rey comes out, people don't understand who she is. If they put a toy out before the majority of the people have seen it.
Yeah, if you give her a lightsaber and a toy, they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, so she's a Jedi? I mean, you're giving away a huge, my daughter actually had Hour of Code or something. They had a coding thing at school, and they had little Jedi animated characters that were teaching the code, and Rey was one of them. And so that totally gave a big giveaway that, was Rey a Jedi? And so you have to be careful with that stuff. I don't think that was a slight on her as a strong female character. I think it was like, we don't want to blow this movie for people who haven't seen it yet. And now that, if you haven't seen it yet, then really, why not? And they can put the toys out. So I think she'll become front and center. She'll be, I hope they don't make, what I hope they don't do? And Disney is bad with this, many things, but did you guys see so you have Merida from Brave, just this, kind of tomboyish, awesome, powerful teenage girl. And she has her look in Brave, and then they came out with a doll or illustrated sets of the princesses, so she's one of them, and they put makeup on her, and it was like,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And so I don't want that to happen to Rey. Rey does not freaking need it. She's a badass, and let her be her in all her roughneck. I live on Jakku.
Not to mention, this is fucking Star Wars. Nobody's wearing fucking makeup on Jakku or Tatooine or any of the fucking planets because nobody has time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
No, and let's teach our daughters. They don't have to freaking go to Cosmopolitan and get a glamour shots to be a badass.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Way too much makeup on. Nick, I want to answer this question. Did you think I did not think Luke was going to force the saber from Rey. I still wonder if he's even going to try to take the saber. Shit, you want to give me that thing? I don't want it. I don't think he wants it. Yeah, we did. We did, Nick. It'll be in the replay. we hashed that out. And Tara and I both have different opinions on that, and I think other people did too. I don't think any of us really know, except me. But I don't really know.
Here's what I think is going to happen with this saber. I don't think he's going to touch it. I think that he understands now, because he's teaching Jedi, that she's the next trainee, and that's her saber now. And so I kind of feel like he's not going to take it from her. That he understands. She brought it to him, but it's hers now. I kind of feel like that's where the story's going on her end. So
I agree. Well, I agree with you totally. I think with her look at the end when she's holding it out, I feel like she's almost desperate for him to take it. Like, please, this is too much. Take it. I don't want to be this. I mean, she's the next, the chosen one, if you will. And
right. And I kind of think, see, we have a problem with that, Anit, because Luke is a celibate Jedi. And so we are not quite sure that that's the case. I kind of feel like, so here's the thing about that. Okay, so like in all these great karate movies and that sort of thing, you take the sword to the master or whatever, and he kind of does his little thing with it. I sort of feel like that's where we're going with this. He's going to do his little thing with it and then teach her how to use it and exactly how to focus the Force and draw off of it.
Now, Nick, to your point, so I think they're trying to lead us into, I think they're intentionally trying to confuse this issue and probably trying to make us talk about it just like we are now, and all conjecture and everything. And I read some of this is from threads where people looked up the background of this, and some of this is rewatching the dream sequence that Rey has. They actually use, and Tara, I told you this last time, Alec Guinness, original Obi-Wan, they use his voice in her dream sequence, basically by saying they spliced out of the word he said afraid in New Hope, they spliced it down to where it's just the Rey sound. So it sounds like he's saying Rey. So that's in her dream sequence, Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan, old dude. But they also have the very last thing you hear of her dream sequence is Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, younger Obi-Wan, saying, "These are your first steps." So yep. I don't know what to take from all that. If that was just dream sequences, kind of just her showing her, guiding her stuff, or if that is legit memory. I have a feeling that's in there specifically to say, well, what the hell? Where's she from? Where's she from? Talk about it more and have all the things and thoughts about it. Luke was also.
I did notice how her clothing resembles Obi-Wan, but I also noticed, more importantly, that her clothing resembled something you would wear in a very sandy place during a windstorm. So
yeah,
she's not on Alderaan. She's on Jakku. So I mean,
I did like that. I noticed it more in the third viewing. That I liked how I do like J.J. Abrams for this, and I know he lends flares. Guys, get over it. But I like how they went from Kylo Ren mask. Oh, actually, no. It was from Finn. He's having his moment. Oh my God, Phasma, get your mask back on. He's like, okay. She goes away, and he puts his mask on. And then you segue. The very next cut is Rey with mask on. You don't know it's Rey yet, but she's pilfering in the big Star Destroyer. But I like segments like that where they segue very nicely into the next thing, and it ties. He's got to get his mask on. We just want her to see her take her mask off. Who is this person? So I love that kind of stuff. The murder of the mini Jedis. They murdered a person that you could assume is a Jedi. You see what Kylo Ren saber a guy through the chest in her dream sequence. And I think the assumption is that he did kill the other Jedi trainees. Is that right? Is that what everyone else is assuming?
I kind of think that.
I do too.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people are saying she got away, and whether that was, my husband has a theory. He says she never made it to the Jedi training, even though the dream sequence shows her there, but it also shows her as present day Rey. That wouldn't have happened. That's not an actual memory. But he thinks she never made it to Jedi training, that this all shit went down with Kylo Ren before she got there, and that's when they said, let's get her away and hide her from him. But I don't know I
agree with Maya in that. And I think that he's absolutely dead on. I think that part of that was a dream sequence in the past, and part of it was a foreshadow to the future. She hasn't become a Jedi yet. Right. She gets the Jedi saber and takes it to the Jedi trainer. And I think that that's kind of a forward now he's got to train her how to do this.
Now, I disagree with that theory. I think it's got merit, but my thing is that I think she made it to the training. The only reasons I think that there are two is because she taps into something, and I get that she's strong in the Force, but so was Anakin and didn't really know how to use it at all. But she taps into something because she knows Luke Skywalker's name. She knows how to Jedi mind trick the Stormtrooper. And I feel like she must have been in training at some point to be able to tap in and bring that back up. It's buried somewhere, and she got it. But the other thing is, Kylo Ren, obviously, as soon as a girl is mentioned, I feel like he latches on. He knows, well, and that might be because maybe he heard of her and was not exposed to her. So that actually doesn't.
When we watch that conversation, she and Finn are like, "Holy crap, you're so and so," because she knows Han as not as we know Han. She knows Han as the skeevy traitor, launderer dude. And that's how she knows Han. And there are rumors that he is who used to be, because that kind of fairy tale would follow him around. She appears genuinely confused by the fact that she can do that.
Yeah.
And completely terrified for a second that just happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then she realizes she can. And so she starts to use it because it starts to kind of fall into place. But I don't think that she understands yet. I don't think she's been to Jedi training yet, simply because of that. She would understand what that was.
Mm-hmm. I have a far-fetched idea, and I want to put this out there. Tell me if it's crazy or not.
Okay.
So I think, as perturbed as Luke looks when she shows up with the lightsaber at the end, like, oh God, here you are. I think he's got, with him being so strong in the Force, I still think he's got play in what's happening. I think he totally knows and senses it all. Part of me wondered if he's having some guidance or influence into what's going on with her, and be like, okay, she's awake. The Force awakens. She's being awoken. What can I do to maybe guide that? Insofar as that point when, and I know the planet's blowing up, I get it, and I know it's trite movie convention and stuff like that. I think Rey was ready to kill Kylo Ren. She's pissed. He knocked out Finn, may have killed him. And she's got the Force flowing and stuff like that. She's also untrained to the point that he is. That's like, well, I'm moving with my feeling here and going with it. I think she was ready to kill him. And then, of course, that big chasm opened up right at the moment she was ready to do that. And part of me wondered if, was Luke kind of saying, let me get in there and separate you two, because if you kill him, dark side right away. Go. You're on.
I agree with you on that. I kind of feel like Luke's very much at this point like Yoda, where he just knows there's a disturbance. He might not know what it is, but he might be able to channel and get and kind of.
That's a great gift. I know. Look, I just put it out. We said it was speculations in the time. I know. I deserve that gift, though. I like that gift. Thank you. That was very good.
I get that, and I can see where that would come from. Yeah, I can't see a reason why not. I think, though, that she's less force-bound and more connected to the guy that's helping her fight.
Yeah.
And I think it's more driven by that than the Force at this point, because she still doesn't understand how to use that, or how it works.
I think that's interesting, Jen, too, on the side. She didn't, that calling to her from Maz's basement was the first time that got tapped into. I could see that. Because,
she was close enough, because, okay, so it's like the sword in the stone, or Thor's hammer, where that specific person has to be within proximity.
Nice. Yeah. I agree. I think that makes sense. I like Jen. I'm agreeing, and I'm nodding with Joel as well. She should have gotten the rest.
She should have, but she didn't know what was going on yet. So,
and I still, I'm interested. I really want to see. I guess which is silly. It's just such a side part, but I do want to see what that dude, the ration guy on Jakku. He didn't die, I assume. But I want to hear more about how she came to be on there, who was watching out for her, who was in her life on purpose, stationed there to keep an eye on her and stuff like that.
Well, because the history of the films dictates that somebody's got an eye on her. So somebody in that crowd of people with her on Jakku has been monitoring her.
That's right.
And they do know where she's from and who she really is.
Victor, I want to talk. Let's sound off on yours a little bit. You wanted to know thoughts on the Knights of Ren. Looked like quite an interesting group in the flashback. Interesting costumes and weapon choices. I'm trying to think now so we have different things at play here too. Because we have you got Kylo Ren, so you assume he's the leader of the Knights of Ren, as is Snoke up there and stuff. So who are the Knights though? Because he refers to the clone army because he says he wants to bring in the clone army to go find the droid. And Ginger General says, no, my men are fine. They're trained from birth. So you've got clone soldiers versus stormtroopers who are not clones, right? And I'm assuming the clones are still from, unless they have a whole new generation of Jango Fett's. You got the clones, you've got the stormtroopers. Are the Knights of Ren the clones, or the Knights of Ren other dark Jedi, or who are those guys? I guess I'd like to have a little more definition.
Right. No, I totally, yeah, because that's the thing. They're not clear on any of that this time around. We don't know if they are clones or not. So it's clear that Finn is not a clone.
Right. But how do we know if anyone else is a clone? Because we haven't seen. You know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick.
I'm going to go after you go.
Okay. So a little bit.
That's the thing I was thinking. Hey, Anib, it can be the ration guy. As we saw when she got to Maz's place, someone who appeared to be not with the Empire was actually with the Empire. So we have a lot of switchy back and forthy type things happening with a lot of these characters who it seems like, as is tradition with these movies, you're not quite sure who you can trust. So I think that it could be the ration guy it could be a manipulation on his part to keep her there, to not give her enough to get by or save or get away. So, and it could be that guy keeping an eye out for her. Right. Again, probably not understanding what I'm saying then. It could be that guy. Let's see. So Joel. Yeah, that's where we were at too. I think we kind of all landed on that page that we think that Palpatine was talking about Snoke. So I think we agree with you on that. It's true. It's true. Right. Exactly. It's kind of like the liar, truth teller, duplicity, where if I told you he was lying, would you believe that I'm telling the truth? Or, and so we just really don't have a good grasp on any of that yet.
Oh, so much better. I am not a Jedi. I don't have the force of will to overcome biological needs. So.
Anib doesn't agree that the rations guy is keeping an eye on her, but I actually do agree with you. It could be somebody similar, him or somebody similar to that, because he would be manipulating her control of her portions,
right,
to keep her there, not giving her enough to save.
So, guys, think about this. She comes up to trade in her stuff, has the droid with her. He's like, "Okay, I'll give you this, but I'll give you tons for that droid." You know, she has that moment. No, that's okay. He's not for sale. He is on the phone saying, follow the girl, get that droid. Who's he calling? We don't know he's calling the Knights of Ren. He could be calling the Resistance. I mean, we don't know that. And also, I mean, I know they try to
everybody wants the droid. Everybody's looking for the droid, so we don't know. Right.
He doesn't have to be an evil guy looking, hey, I'm going to get the droid for the Knights of Ren or the, First Order or whatever. I mean, we don't know that. And I know that the people that go to get the droid, she gets in a fight with them. That's not necessarily saying, well, he wanted them to go take her out to get the droid. So to me, he obviously wants the droid. He wants it for somebody. But everybody wants the droid, and that's not necessarily saying, well, he's a bad guy who wants to take it from her for evil purpose. You don't know that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like when I said you weren't here for this part, when I said the girl at Maz's place, who we all thought was on her side, suddenly went over and contacted perhaps a nefarious character to let them know that. I mean, she contacted Kylo Ren and said the girl's here. He's got the droid, and she's hanging out at Maz's place with the good guys.
The guy in the diner in Attack of the Clones, that one that Obi-Wan goes to. Okay, Obi-Wan goes to that guy. I remember he's like in the diner and he gives him some information, and I'm trying to remember because really, again, that is the worst of all the movies, so I usually block the whole thing out. Maybe it was him. He'd have to be pretty old, and not saying that I don't want to put him in a box because obviously aliens can maybe live longer than human beings. The troopers show up as soon as he calls. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, because the troopers, they knew that the TIE fighter crashed back on Jakku, knew that the Poe was going after the droid, and also knew that Finn, or his number, as they referred to him at that time, had helped them. So they're like, and that's when the whole battle thing came out, like, well, I need that droid back. Well, my men are fine. They'll send the clone army. No, my men are trained from birth. We're going to send. So they were coming to the planet regardless. So they were going to go down. And if they went and found the wreckage, if they're going to do a sweep of the area, it wouldn't be long till they found that outpost and then discovered that that's where everybody was. Plus, oh gosh, who was that? Whoever pointed out Rey to the stormtroopers. I had to think. I need to go see it a fourth time and make sure I watch that. Why does everyone want to go to Jakku? I know. Well, Rey wants to go because she's convinced whoever left her there is going to come back. And thank God Maz is like, no, it's not happening. Dexter Jetster. He knew about the Dart. Who's Dexter Jetster? Is that the one? Oh, the one in Attack of the Clones? Yes. Interesting. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I really do wonder. I mean, I was trying to think back to, with getting back again, we talked a little bit earlier about the old dude at the beginning who gives the partial map to Luke Skywalker to Poe. Who the heck's that guy? Where'd he get that? You figure he's got to be Force friendly or Jedi friendly, or and he's like, this will start to make things right. He talks about there needs to be balance, and without the Jedi, they can't be balanced. So how'd he get all this information? He's got to have some information about where the Jedi Temple is, where Luke Skywalker is, knowing when the timing of this all is. So he's got to be Force sensitive too. Chewie. Okay, that's a good question. But did you guys love it too when Chewie, as soon as Han died, he's like, bah! And he just like, what this shit? And he's just like, goes around just like, bomb, 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 set it off. I don't care. We are blowing this shit up. He was so pissed, and I loved that because Chewie kind of exuded what we all felt like. Oh my God, they just killed Han! Blow it up! Kicked his ass, and he shot him. I don't know. I'm interested in that too because obviously Rey now has the Millennium Falcon. Chewie's going to be tied to that.
Oh, Joel.
Well, think about it. Chewie was even in Revenge of the Sith, because Yoda refers to him by name when after all the Jedi get killed except for that handful, and he has to leave and flee, and he says, goodbye, Chewbacca. So Chewie's eternal. I bet he's going to be one of those who's always in the movies. Always. Because, he's awesome. And did you know that's all human hair?
It's really gross.
Mind blocked that scene with Yoda, you did. You mind blocked that scene. Here, wait. Oh, let me show you this. Where's this? Here, I'm trying to figure out which Star Wars. This is my son's Lego Star Wars. All right, have we hashed this movie to death? To death. Any other things we haven't covered?
Like really popular today, talking about Star Wars. I'm kind of digging it.
I like it. Everybody knows. Your cousin has that? Yeah. Oh, have you seen? You saw this. I keep bringing him up because I just think he's awesome.
It's no good to me.
Geeking out. As you wish. Shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick. She's okay. So we've seen this before. We've talked about how episode 7 is the same as episode 4, and we've seen this before. Rey's our new Han. I mean, I think that's the end of this list. And so of course the Falcon's going to be connected to her because I'm pretty sure Rey's the new Han.
Yeah, I agree. Well, because she's, you can't really compare her to Luke because Luke, was this little greenhorn, farmer guy in the beginning and didn't know how to fight. He knew how to pilot okay, and he learned all that stuff. But she was raised rough and had to fight for her survival. And I do feel like, and she knew Han not as a war hero. She knew Han as the smuggler and was like,
right.
Ooh, you're Han Solo's smuggler. This ship made it in 14 parsecs, 12, so.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. She knows him as the skeevy smuggler dude, the parts launderer and creatures trader. And Chewie goes with whoever Han is. So of course Chewie gets the Falcon. That's the way that works. So Chewie officially is partnered with Rey at this point, as far as I'm concerned, in my theories anyway. Yeah. Yeah, and that's true. Even Han was kind of weirded out at the way that the Falcon liked her, and so. But that's my thing, that she's the new Han, and that's why we lost Han, because we needed a new Han anyway. And so here's the thing with Finn, and this is kind of where I'm. This is why I'm worried about the Leia thing, is because I feel like Finn is the new Leia, and. I have a feeling that we're going to gender swap these roles, and that's the way this is going to be. He's not the new Luke, and there's not anybody left. And so I think I have a feeling that Finn is the new Leia.
I'm going to disagree. I think this is the whole new set of characters, and obviously they'll have some people fall into niches. That was pretty obvious for Rey to assume Han's seat in the Falcon. She owns that now. She's the new pilot of the Falcon, and world-wise, or at least Jakku-wise. But I don't know. I don't know, because I don't feel like you can, because you've got Poe, who's this awesome Resistance pilot. He's got a lot. I feel like there's a lot in him of Luke being an awesome pilot and all, woo, I'm going to get this shit done.
Okay, so then Poe's the new Luke would stand to reason.
Well, that's with your theory I'm disagreeing with, though, but continue.
I know. No, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that if we're bringing Poe into this, and I completely spaced him out, but that makes sense. If we all, so Rey's the Jedi Falcon pilot, and Poe's the not Jedi military pilot, and Finn is orange is the new black. Yes.
They do wear orange.
And 40 is the new 20, and I'll be 40 in a couple months, and I'm freaked out. So anyway, go ahead.
It's fine. 40 is actually awesome.
I'm not freaked. I'm actually not freaked out. I'm like, let's do this. So
let's do it. 40. I'm 41. So really quick geek out moment.
Jen's killing me. I'm in March.
If you've seen Ben, this shows how geeky I am in movies. If you've seen Ben-Hur, the whole scene where Ben-Hur becomes a slave rower on a ship, and his name is 41. So when my dad turned 41, I had just seen Ben-Hur, and we joked about that because they're so dramatic with calling him, "Let me die, 41," or 41, there is hate in your eyes. And so when my dad turned 41 way back in the day, I totally shot him a clip of that movie and 41. So I turned 41. So this is the year of 41. So I have to watch Ben-Hur this year. Again, geeking, dramatic queen. This is neat. But I think that as similar as some things are, and even with the whole Jakku Tatooine equation and stuff like that, I still think they are trying. Which they may fail at this. Let's just put that out there. They're going to try to make these all new characters that will not necessarily fall into, hey, you're the new Leia or you're the new Luke, even if you're the new half Leia Luke. Ew.
Right. And I agree with
But
you on
that they'll be brand new. I mean, and you may get it where Poe or even Finn becomes a new leader of the Resistance because of, sequence of events, but they're totally different than Leia was, things, etc., blah, blah, blah. Jabba? He's dead. Jabba dead.
I agree with you. But because we're talking about Rey getting the Falcon, but she's also clearly going to be Jedi. I mean, that's right. Something that Han wasn't. So
right. She's like a Luke and Han mix, kind of. I mean,
yeah, I think we're going to kind of scramble the characters a little bit.
All right. Yes, it's a little weird. It's not unheard of. It's okay. There are support groups for this. I am
often the more rookie in the pair, so.
I'm going to fess up right now. I'm going to confess. I have spoiled Star Wars twice in my life for people who hadn't seen it. Once was in Wisconsin. I came in, my roommates were watching Star Wars. They were watching Empire Strikes Back. And it was the scene where Leia lays a kiss on Luke. Ooh. And I made a comment.
I don't know where you're going with that. I'm sorry. Poe doesn't guilt the Falcon. Rey gets the Falcon. Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm so sorry.
So I made a comment during my friend's roommates watching that scene that, well, wait till he finds out that's his sister. And one of the girls like, what? She had never seen the Star Wars movies. So I was like, shit, sorry, just forget what I said. So that was one. The second one was 3 weeks ago. I deserve all ridicule for this. Please, I deserve it. I accept it. Oh, you turn Boba Fett to shoot myself. But I was at a Christmas party. I had just seen the movie the first time, and a few of us had seen it too. So we were all in a little group talking about it. So later that night, and I swear I had like one glass of wine, that's it. So this was not based on drunkenness. It was just based on stupid. So I was getting driven home by a girl. I thought she had been in the group that we were talking about earlier, and I dropped something about, yeah, and then Han dying, blah. And she's just like, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So I felt so bad. I deserve no forgiveness for that. It's awful. It's awful. I'm an awful person. And I seriously felt so bad. I'm like, I don't know what to do to rectify this. I don't know what to do. I got nothing. So I am a horrible person. Had somebody said that to me before I saw the movie, I'd be like,
I mean, Poe is a pilot. He is not the Falcon pilot. And it's a completely different set of skills to be the Falcon pilot. So,
well, Luke was a great pilot. Was he the Falcon pilot? He was not. No. The Falcon belongs to one person.
One person. It's like the saber belongs to one person. The Falcon belongs to one person. Rachel, I can't believe you.
I know. I can't believe me either. I'm awful. I'm an awful person. They're, like I said, support groups for people like me who spoil things. Oh. Okay, this gets into a little bit of race pigeonholing, so just, but I've heard people say, well, Finn must be related to Lando. I don't think anything like that. I don't think, he's got to be related to Lando, because Lando's the sole black person we had in the other movies, and so that must be Finn's. No, why? What? Come on, people.
Okay, you guys.
Universe with aliens.
But yeah, let's talk about both Star Wars and Star Trek do this. This is not how the future universe works. It's not everybody's a mix of everything. It's not, will BB-8 hook up with R2-D2?
Hey, if any droid that can do that with a little blowtorch.
Didn't they hook up? Didn't they already hook up? Didn't they interface so they could do what they needed to do?
Whoa, was that into the cutscene? I didn't see that one. They talked, they bleeped and blooped at each other, but I don't know what that equates to in droid speak, but foreplay. That was foreplay. I need to go find business time. I don't think that they're going to hook up. Can you guys hop on? I think so.
Wow.
Are you cool with that? Well, they've been in. What about you, Warren? 2 days on Blab.
Anib's got 6 and Warren's got 2. I'm leaning towards no. We need to know why you want on.
Well, Anib's been in the sidebar, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
just guys, are you dressed? Please say you're dressed. And if you're not, we need to kick you off, okay? So if we let you on,
not only will we kick you off, right? Not only will we kick you off, we will block you.
Yeah, be nice. Let's just talk about Star Wars and no. There's Bound Chicka Bound, but that's only about droids, okay? Okay, go for it. Go. And I'm only gonna be on for like another 20 minutes because I do have to actually get some.
You gotta get. So if you're getting on, let's go, fellas.
All right, coming on. Sup?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Jedi man. Whoa, what was that?
Okay, well,
Warren.
Warren's not coming on. Warren says he's not dressed.
Okay,
He's
thank
just
you.
like that. I'm sure he is dressed. He is dressed. I'm sure he
All
is.
we need to
He's
have
all-
on is a shirt. Warren, throw a shirt on.
That's
or
all
a
we need is a
tank
shirt.
top or
We don't really
anything.
care what you're wearing below that. It's okay.
Come on, we can turn this into the Nibby Bay show.
No,
No,
you
you
cannot.
can't.
Have you seen
So-
it? Have you ever seen? Have you been on the Nibby Bay show?
The what show?
The Nibby Bay show.
No.
Yeah, that's mine and Warren's thing.
What's it about?
It's just making people laugh with random things.
Well, that's what we're doing today, so it works. What?
Kind of what we do every day.
How many times have you seen the movie? Talk about it.
I've seen it 6 times.
Wow, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Did you play the lottery too? Do you a lotto player?
No, I'm not actually in America, so
Where are
I
you?
would if I was there. I live in
That
Qatar.
green,
in the Middle
Qatar.
East.
wow, that purple dot
Yeah.
on the map. That's
He is.
so
He's that
cool.
purple dot way over there on the map.
What
Where
time
is
is
it?
it there?
It's almost midnight.
Whoa.
It's 11:44.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, it really sucks that Han dies.
It does suck.
It really
It
does
sucks.
suck. I cried 3 times.
Well, that's not bad out of 6 times seeing it. So
Well,
Yeah.
the first 3 times I cried.
Then you're like, okay, this is happening. It's coming.
Yeah, then it gets me like, yep, that's it.
So
He's not coming back.
First time you saw it, did you pretty much know as soon as he called out Ben's name? I mean, you're like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah, I was like, it's just like Luke and the Sith, Luke and Darth Vader all over again. Yeah, and I was like, oh no. They were
Well,
even on they were even on a bridge, and
With no guardrails, by the way. That like
yeah,
makes no sense on any planet.
see, that was kind of a shout out to oh Jesus, which Dr. Jones movie was that where he's walking out on faith? Oh, Jen, come on. Yay, hi, Jen.
Yeah, the fall down the thermal exhaust shaft is the Deus Ex Machina of the Star Wars series.
Right.
It is.
Like, all right, how are we going to end this scene? Well, he falls down a thermal exhaust shaft. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. All right, put it on the board.
Well, did you love that too? How, I mean, and again, just with all the throwbacks, it's like, hey, there's a big round mechanical ray gun thingy that the dark side has, but it's got this little thing that if one person can get in there and shoot it, it'll blow up and save the day. Let's go attack it. And I was like, starting to sense a theme here a little bit.
Well, I like that they had to come in at light speed in order to get in underneath the radar.
yeah, that was cool.
I
That was
appreciated
Like,
that.
that was just like that was cool, and especially Ray's face when Han does that. That was priceless.
I liked
I
I
don't
like
think physically Harrison Ford could have done another movie, though.
Right.
He got kind of beat up on this one.
He did.
Yeah,
So-
but what's everyone's favorite Harrison Ford movie?
oh, I don't have one.
oh my
Is that bad?
Oh,
Would-
let me think. Wait. He's been in so many.
It would have to be Air Force One.
Really?
So?
Air Force One. That was the first Harrison Ford movie I watched.
Oh, Jen, that's you. I was wondering who our little dot in the Northeast is. That's you. You're way up there in Pennsylvania. It looks like.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
But
This is like asking me my favorite Alan Rickman movie, and I today realized how many movies he's been in, and I don't know if I can pick a favorite. I mean, I don't know if I can pick a favorite. He was really, Harrison Ford was amazing in Regarding Henry. He was
Oh my God.
fantastic. And that's not even my favorite role. He was just really good.
Yeah, he does that. He just hypnotizes the watchers with all his great acting.
Wait, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
true.
bring
He's
that up.
really good.
No, don't shoot me! Don't shoot me!
No disintegrations.
As you wish.
Shoot him!
He's been
Get him!
in so many
Spraying.
movies that I can't pick one. Really, I mean,
Yeah, I agree. Indiana Jones is. I mean, he definitely had a nice decade there because he was in the
Yeah,
full trilogy.
he's done really well in the Indiana Jones movies, but
well, I mean, he was in Blade Runner.
Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah,
Huh?
he was in all. And he was a carpenter. He started as a carpenter in Hollywood and just got his way on. I liked
worked
it.
his way up.
I loved one of my favorites with the whole Kim Davis snafu with the marriage licenses. Everybody's done the memes like, I still did my job, and he had a meme that came out of it like, starred in Star Wars movies that I didn't particularly like, did my job. You're like, he did his job. He didn't, and that was a big thing why he didn't. I think he's not back. Not only age, I think he came back for the fans, and he's like, I'll do one last and be done.
Well, what he did was he just showed everyone that you could be anything you want from wherever you are. You just have to work for it. Like,
Also,
movie
he's a
star from a carpenter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's
he
a
is.
pilot in real life too, which is cool. I mean, he got hurt. I think he crashed his plane in California and made it. They were saying if it had been a lesser pilot, he probably wouldn't have made it out alive. That was pretty impressive.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Well, my dad's favorite movie is Air Force One too. He's a pilot. That's why I guess he likes Air Force One that much. And he got me into it when I was like 7 years old. That's when I watched it. And I was like,
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? 'Cause
I'm
now-
20.
Oh yeah, nice. Jen, what were you did you want to come on and share? Because you've been very active in our sidebar about the whole movie and all the thoughts. What's your stance?
Thank God he had the Falcon training.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, Falcon training, yeah. Just liking some Star Wars. Can't talk to anybody at work about it. Because I'm like, I had to stand there and go, did you see Star Wars yet? And like now I'm like,
Yeah, we're on Periscope too. I follow these couple of people, and they're like Star Wars fans. And every time they're on, they want to talk about Star Wars. They go on like, "Did everyone here watch Star Wars first?" And they're like, "No." If someone in the comments like, "No," they don't talk about it.
Well,
I have to
even
let you know just real quick that we have like a lot of blab like honchos in our blab all day. They've been in and out. Neil over there, he's the app dude. We've had so many. We haven't seen Sean yet. We still have a few requests for Sean, so we're gonna have to go hop into one of
Whoa.
Sean's labs. But I think it's really cool that the blab head honchos come in and geek out with us. I'm kind of excited for that whole thing.
Well, and to your point, Annie, because that's why I made sure I put spoilers in there because I do run into people. I actually, the third time I went to see it, saw it with a person who hadn't seen it before, which again, mind-numbing to me. But
Well, I watched it 6 times. The first time I watched it all alone because I just wanted to see it in peace. The rest of the time I was with someone who didn't watch it before, so.
yeah, I have a 3-year-old. So opening night I went, and I actually parked my car in a logistically smart spot planning for there to be either a fire alarm pulled or a bomb threat.
oh, gee.
Yeah,
that
I went on
was
opening night too here, and there was like people dressed as Obi-Wan. There was someone dressed as Chewbacca, which I found pretty cool, and it was all facial hair, like coming out of his beard. It was
It's just kind of plastered on, kind of like Trump's hair, but it's
yeah. Warren, you can't take the Lord's name in vain. You've been told off many times.
when I saw Ray's Sam costume, I decided I'm going to do that for Phoenix this year. So
Georgia, my daughter, 7-year-old, wants one too. She's loves Ray, which I think is awesome. I love Ray. You will have to watch the replay, Warren, because we have actually hashed this out. Because we have many theories, rife with theories.
A lot of agreements and disagreements.
Which none of us know for right. Any number of us could be right.
Nice, cool, very cool.
Yeah, gosh darn it, that's right.
Wait. Okay. Joel, what was George Lucas's face like? Come on, just tell me. Just say it. Was he just like, this sucks because I wasn't involved, or like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that, or a mix of all those things? Was he crying? I want to know.
Aww.
I do know. All the ... the ellipses are just like, I'm riveted. What are you talking about?
The abuser like me, I'm just like, out with it, please.
it.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the thing is that every remake that Disney has tried to done, they do not do a really good job. So I'm really hoping they can keep Star Wars alive. I'm really hoping they can do that.
Well, and JJ's not coming back to direct the next one. He's not directing it. Although he said once he saw the script, he kind of wished he was directing it. So that makes me feel good about the script and where it might go. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you. As you know, Rachel, I work with a lot of the Dune Sea. I did for a while the Dune Sea Garrison and the Star Wars costumers in Phoenix during my 5 years at Phoenix Comic-Con, and a lot of them are really upset that J.J. Abrams even had a hand in this, which is very strange to me because I like Warehouse 13 and his shows. I mean, I like his shows. I'm not sold on him as a movie director. Though, and I kind of get where they're coming from.
I do too, but I was really concerned about Star Trek, and if that would even be remotely good. And I have to say, aside from the fact that they did not pick William Shatner to do the last line, Space, the Final Frontier, I thought that movie was perfect. I thought it was exactly what I wanted from a Star Trek reboot. And so when I learned he was directing this, I was like, okay. I'm good with it. I obviously am still good with it because I think the movie did well. What do you guys think, Jen? Do you think is there anything about the movie you didn't like particularly?
There were a lot of things I like with just little problems. Some of the character things, I guess, with Finn, just like you were saying, like how he just instantly turns almost like it's a traumatic type thing where he's like, oh, I can't do this. I've only taken out trash. Which my husband insists is a throwback to Clerks, where they were saying the second Death Star was full of contractors.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, no, the stormtroopers are building. They have skills. They build and they take out trash.
That's awesome.
Well, did anyone else find it really cool when Kylo Ren just stops the blaster just midair, just stays there for a while, and then once everyone's going away, it just goes off like.
Yeah, he just turns it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found that really cool.
He was such an interesting character because he obviously had power, but he was so untrained and raw. I mean, even his lightsaber just exuded this anger and angst, and like it's all ragged and it's not. I remember when. Yeah, I remember when I kept thinking back to A New Hope when Luke first holds that lightsaber that Obi-Wan gives him, and he talks about it's a more refined weapon, and just talking about that, it's supposed to have some elegance to it, and his does not. His is just like.
It's true. It's rough and ragged and edgy and angry, and even the sabers coming out of the hilt look pissed off. They look like
it's basically I'm gonna kill you all.
Yeah, he was and I did
really like that mug. Like really, I wish I had one.
Oh, your mug?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
She's like up there for me.
Wait, for me, it's here.
You're down here.
I'm gonna take the mug, okay?
See, she's over there for me. It's a yeah, I loved, and I know there's a Twitter account, Emo Kylo Ren. I think he played it really well. He's young, he's unpolished, he's untrained, he's very frustrated and angry. I mean, and again, I don't think anyone's under any delusions that Han and Leia were remotely good parents. I mean, obviously he had his own issues with the Force and stuff and turning to the dark side, but you've got your dad who's a smuggler. I mean, you just kind of knew that wasn't going to be like a Ozzy and Harriet couple, right?
It was very much a heated, illicit affair, is what it very much was. I'm from this good Jedi family background, and you're the skeevy, laundry stealer guy. And I'm going to have sex with you really quick, and now we're going to have a kid.
And Kylo, you have the chip. Screw it up. So don't screw it up now.
Don't screw that up.
The Skywalkers are good names now.
Don't you use the Force to clean that room. You do it yourself. Don't cheat.
Okay, the Darth Vader mask. Didn't Darth Vader get like a full Jedi send-off with the burning and everything? How does the mask pop back up? Has anyone else wondered about that? Like, do you think Kylo Ren went hunting for the mask?
Well, I think may have told him at some point that, like, in the story of that the cremation happened on Endor, and then he was able to recover it, because some people were saying in the beginning when they just saw the teaser trailers that Kylo may be Luke.
Yeah.
And for the first chunk of that, I thought, maybe that's why Kylo wants that map so badly, to keep his secret that he's really Luke.
Right. No,
but then after like the first 20 minutes of the movie, you figure out
then there's a little bit in, you're like, that's not Luke. You're not Luke.
I think you're right. I think the quest, and they talk about in the roll, credits at the start, where they're bent on finding and killing the last Jedi, which is Luke Skywalker, which they think is the last Jedi. Which is why
Rey pops up.
All this, oh shit, there's a girl. Maybe he's not the last Jedi. Oh my god, and freaking out. But he, and it also speaks to it too. I mean, Rey senses with the Force that Darth Vader is very important to Kylo Ren. That's his end all be all ideal of who he wants to be in the dark side. But he's afraid he will never be that.
Okay. Let's say, just saying, what if Rey and Luke are not related, and they end up having this baby, which is like a super Jedi? Even though I know that the age difference is like.
No, I don't think you're understanding, Anib, that Luke is a celibate.
I know, but what if you never know?
Actually having sex if he's celibate.
You can have like forced sex, like mentally, like in like on the life day.
Like the Coneheads have, like what?
Don't know that I like where this is going.
That's what happens, okay? You get enough nerds in a room, that's what happens.
You start imagining things.
Oh God, Joel. Ah! Ew.
You start thinking about these things, and then but come on, what if? There's a big if.
I just want to point that out. That was in no way going anywhere in my brain. Also, Finn would not have it, and I know Finn. Whoa! I have like a branch going down in my yard. Jeez, that was weird. Maybe it's the Force. My tree is falling down because of such a supposition. No, I don't see that happening. No.
Gross.
I'm
I
gonna
don't think there's going to be an illicit affair between the Jedis, between the celibate Jedis.
and with that bombshell, not to be all top gear BBC on you guys, but we probably
And
need
on
to
that bombshell.
Yeah, on that bombshell. Ready. Last thoughts, since we've been on for 2 hours now, and we need to wrap it up. Let's go round robin. Anib, you go first. Biggest prediction for the next movie. Go. And not anything with Luke and Rey. Just stay away from that.
You don't want to watch them throw up in your favorite coffee cup.
I want to agree with my buddy Warren. The droids hook up. Maybe, you never know.
Ooh. Okay, well, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
That's your prediction, Jen. What's your prediction?
Either that Rey runs away from her training because it's a little too intense for her, and she decides to go off in the Millennium Falcon in search of her parents, a la Anakin.
Uh-huh.
Or
No, that's just going really deep into deep into Rey.
But you don't get to
Let her finish.
And then Kylo Ren similarly talks to Han's vest, like he does to Vader's helmet.
I love that.
That's two right there. I gave you another one for free.
Show me how to be stylish like a smuggler and be all hot.
I get it now. Yes, I see this.
Oh, I see.
All right, Tara. Big prediction.
I agree with Jen for the most part on the Rey front. I think she freaks out and takes off in the Falcon to search for her family. So
Right. I will bring it full circle that she takes off to find her family, only to discover that her parents are Princess Vespa and Lone Star from Spaceballs.
yes.
Because if you look at the
quest
picture
for
now,
more money.
it looks like she could be related to them. It's a good lineage. And then Pizza Hut could be in there. It'd be awesome. Ugh.
She doesn't look Jewish.
Look at that!
Awesome.
And on that note, bombshell. Good chat. And I want to point out, I think, Joel, are you sharing that you guys have a Blab this evening?
That is true.
Blab show at 9. Subscribe before you forget. I will be there too, so bonus.
This Blab was longer than the movie.
I'm going to be at the... I'm going to be at the Avalanche game, and they better win because I need to pick me up after Alan Rickman died and David Bowie, and I didn't win the lottery. I didn't win, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it really sucked. Sharon Ape died.
One of the winners was a hedge fund investor in California, in Chino Hills. So he bought 15,000 tickets to win his third of the $1.4 billion. So
I'll just let that speak for me right now. I was really hoping someone who needs it would win it, like really bad. That's okay. It's fine. Karma's going to come back. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining the Blab today. Next week, we may... Oh, Tara, talk about that. We may have a guest idea. Do we know? Do we know for sure?
yeah,
Bye,
I
Jen.
think, and she said she's happy to come back. My girlfriend Courtney, who we spoke with right before Thanksgiving, is on the Oscar nominees list for Chow Beyond.
Well, I'm following you guys. I'll probably pop in.
Yeah,
Cool.
come in.
Anyway, we're gonna see if Courtney's coming back. She said she'll be happy to join us. Of course, now that she's an Academy Award nominee, we're gonna have to see what her schedule's like because it's kind of huge. It's very big.
Wait. Yoda is pleased. So just in case anyone missed that, we probably have an Oscar nominee on next week's show. You should totally.
You realize I have to append what I call her now? She's Oscar-nominated director Courtney N. Marsh. Like I have to call her that now. She actually has a title.
That's really weird.
Not just
but
director
really
Courtney N. Marsh, but Oscar-nominated director.
Anib, I'm going to send you on your merry way. Go to bed because it's after midnight.
Yeah, go sleep.
Thanks for coming on though today.
No, it's cool. Bye. See you guys
Bye.
next week.
Good night. Thank you, Aneve.
All right, women, thank you for another engaging, awesome, and a lot of people coming into this blab today. The replay will be available. We're on every Thursday at 12 Mountain Time, noon. And are always
weird. So
yes, and we're always looking for interesting, diverse topics. Obviously, today was on Star Wars. Next week's going to be about Agent Orange and an Oscar-nominated film and the director that is being nominated for it. So, and then I think we've talked about comic illustrators and health insurance and things. So we do all the things that are timely and important, and the Oscar nominations are timely and important.
stay tuned because I'm planning on getting us into Phoenix with a press pass so that we can blab from Phoenix Comic-Con, because that would be kind of huge. And so just make sure you subscribe to us so you know what's going on. And I'm about to have our site launched. Rachel we'll have it go live February 1st, hopefully. So
that's big news.
That'll
also,
be more big news in the future.
And I will be a South by Southwest correspondent for us because I'm going to South by Southwest in March. It'll be my first time there. Last year South by Southwest brought us Meerkat and Periscope and among other things. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else we find out there, and I will let you guys know all the things all the time.
Hooray!
All right. Thank you guys. And we're going to go off the record. Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, guys.